Hey y'all, welcome back to Elevation, your favorite podcast for new perspectives
and elevating conversations. This is Araya.
This is Sierra, and today we are going to be talking about D&D. If you don't know what D&D is, you're probably living in the Stone Age, because most people should know what that is. But if you don't, it's okay. It's called Do Not Disturb. And
there's so many mixed feelings about it. So many mixed feelings. And I'm not going to lie, I used to have a different perspective on it than I do now. So, do you feel like you've always felt the way you feel about it? Or
no, I definitely, like, before I actually started putting my phone on D&D, because mind you, like, before I started putting my phone on D&D, I never put it on D&D. It literally, I was always constantly answering my phone, constantly on my phone, texting people back. But it got to a point where I was just like, I'm gonna try this D&D out. I'm gonna see what this is about. And I love it. I absolutely
super fucking
love
peaceful,
it.
right?
It is so peaceful. I love it. I love that if I don't want to talk to anybody, I don't have to talk to anybody. And I don't have to block you if I don't want to talk to you. Like, if I don't want to talk to you, I just don't want to talk to you in that moment. Like, it's nothing personal, but like with me, I get really bad. My bad, yo. I get really bad anxiety. And so, like, with the phone, like my phone not being on D&D, I'd be feeling like anxious, like I have to reply to these people. Like, they're texting me, like they're wanting my attention, like I have to reply to them.
And I feel like
but with my
I feel like we both have that problem because I feel like we're both like recovering people pleasers.
Yes,
because we grew up getting in trouble for every little tiny thing. So we don't like people to be angry with us and we don't like people to be upset with us. So we feel like they might feel like they're being ignored or they might feel like, oh, we should block them if we just don't want to talk right now. But
I don't want to have to block you, because it's not that I don't want to talk to you at all.
Yeah, or
it's more so on the fact of, like, I just don't have the mental and emotional capacity to carry on the conversation that you're wanting me to carry on. And with me, like with D&D, because I have it to where, like, you call 2 times, you can get through. So I feel like if you just call 1 time, you probably wasn't talking about nothing. 9 times out of 10, it wasn't that important. But if you take time out to call twice, I might answer your phone call.
I feel like so many people have
like
a hard time like respecting that though.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, before I started putting my phone on Do Not Disturb, which I just recently started doing that. I used to just put it on like where none of my notifications would pop up, to where like the call would still go through, but my text I wouldn't see them immediately. But when I was in a relationship and my boyfriend did that shit, I'm not gonna lie, like red flag, like your phone's on Do Not Disturb. You must be cheating. You must be hiding
that's how
something.
I was too.
But no, I mean, yeah, sure, there are some slimy ass motherfuckers out here that put their phone on Do Not Disturb so they can live their double, triple, quadruple lives or whatever it is they do.
Whatever that is they're doing.
But just because some people do that doesn't mean it's everybody. And I just feel like a lot of people don't respect time. Like, if my phone's on Do Not Disturb, respect that. Respect that I'm taking time to recharge myself. I'm taking time to re-energize myself.
Or not even just that, I might just be busy.
Yeah.
I might honestly just be busy at the moment. If you call me or send me a text, I will get back to you as soon as I can. It's not, I feel like a lot of people take it personally instead of looking at it like, okay, well, maybe they're just busy, or maybe they just don't want to talk right now. It's not personal. Like, I still love everybody that calls me. Like, it's never anything personal. And 9 times out of 10, I'm going to call you back. I'm just going to call you back when I'm ready to call you back.
Yeah,
or when I'm mentally ready to actually sit down and have a conversation with whoever's calling me. Like, I don't feel like, just like it goes back to blocking people. I don't want to block you because I still want you to be able to get in contact with me.
Yeah, if it's like an emergency, but phones have made it to where people think they should just have access to you 24/7, and that's exhausting for anybody.
Like, I don't have to answer my phone every time you call me. And if I have my phone on D&D and you call twice, if you're calling me twice, please make it important.
No, for real. Don't take advantage of that shit.
Because if you call me twice about some BS,
that could have waited.
That could have waited, or you're just calling me about some BS that you're just really just calling to bitch. Or, like sometimes I get it, like people call to vent, but like if it's not directly affecting your health and it's not directly affecting your life, like if it's not a what am I looking for? If it's not a life or death situation,
dire emergency.
If it's not a dire emergency, like if it does not directly affect your life, please don't blow my phone up. Like if you calling me 3-4 times about some bullshit, 9 times out of 10, you're the reason why my phone is on D&D. And you're the reason why I don't call people back.
You see, I don't know, like, don't get me wrong, with like the people you live with, I feel like it's a little bit different. But like me and my friends, we don't even just randomly call each other. Like we text each other and like, hey, like, is now a good time to talk? Or like, when is a good time? Right. When are you gonna have a free hour or something like? And I feel like that makes like a lot healthier of a relationship when you're respectful. Like I shouldn't just be talking when you want to talk, when we're both good. Unless you really need somebody, that's a little different. But just calling to chit chat or just calling to vent real fast about some bullshit that's going on in your day, like, let me decide if I am at the capacity to deal with that
and work through what you're dealing with, or if I have the mental capacity to listen to what you're wanting to talk to me about.
Yeah.
Like, ask me how my day was first.
Yeah.
Like, hey, are you okay today? Like, have you had a good day, or are you going through something? Yeah. Before you just throw your load onto my load, and then I'm overwhelmed and frustrated because now I have my own stuff going on, and you didn't put this on me, and I'm like, damn, like. And I'm a people pleaser. I love to help people. Like that's probably my biggest downfall, but also my biggest strength at the same time, because I love to help people. I love helping people. Like it's just me. I'm just a very helpful person. I'm a very loving person until you push me to a certain extent. But my phone being on D&D is really a boundary thing. Like I don't have to answer.
You don't.
I don't want to. And D&D helps me not feel anxious about me not answering my phone right or away. Me not getting back to that person right away. Like my phone's on D&D, so therefore, like if you call me and you only call me one time, just know like I'm not ignoring you. Obviously, my phone's on D&D, but if you shoot me a text and be like, "Hey, when you get a second, could you call me back? It's like important," or hey, I didn't really want anything. I was just calling to check on you, something like that. But if you're calling me again about some bullshit, baby, I ain't gonna lie, I might not answer the next phone call. Just being honest, because some of the phone calls I be getting, I'd be like, bro, why? Like they could have waited.
This is why everyone needs a therapist. Everyone needs a fucking therapist. I need a therapist really bad. But this is why, because we all and therapists need a therapist too. Like, no,
everybody in the world.
I take that back.
I don't think everybody needs therapy. I think that people need to start. Yes, but I think people just need to start being more compassionate about others.
Yeah,
and respecting others' boundaries, because just as you're going through something, I'm going through something, and just as the next person is going through something. So when people start understanding and be more understanding of people's situations and the things that people go through, I feel like the world would communicate way better with each other, because it's like everybody's against each other. Everybody's in a flight or fight mode instead of being in that, what's the word I'm looking for? No, people are calling it their soft girl era. Like a lot of people are in fight or flight because that's just what they've been raised on. or that's just something that their brain has been triggered to do, is fight or flight.
And it does take a lot of programming to get out of that fight or flight, for sure. I've been working on it for years, and it's still really, really hard. I'm a fighter. I'll be like, peace, I'm gone. I don't want to deal with this shit.
Depending on the situation,
but
most situations, like if I know that if I stay here and I fight this fight, that it's just gonna drive me crazy,
yeah,
I'm leaving. I'm just gonna flight. But if I know that, okay, you know what, I have the capacity to fight this fight right now, I'm gonna go ahead and fight it.
Right.
But like, I just have to like analyze the situation in my head, and sometimes I'll just be like, you know what, all right, and I'll just walk away, because it's like I'll have to analyze it in my head and be like, you know what, I could fight this battle. You're right, I could. There's a lot of battles that I could fight, but are they worth fighting?
Right.
Like, is this certain situation worth fighting over?
I feel like it also has to do with who you're talking to. Like when we got into it a little bit earlier before we recorded this, because we did, and
nobody's perfect.
But I tried to fight. I tried to get by, avoid it, because most people won't actually take the time to communicate and compromise and see it from all angles. Araya here did, so we were able to. She was able to just like calm down, like it's all right. Let's talk about it, and we talked about it and we worked through it, and we're fine. A lot of people won't do that. A lot of people will just only see their side, or they'll just let emotions run rampant, and they won't try to come to like a solution or a common ground or a compromise. Like, yes, we can agree to disagree,
or even like certain situations, or okay, well, I understand where you're coming from, and it's like it takes two people. It really does. So like in our situation, hey, look, I hear you. Your feelings are valid. I understand where you're coming from. This is how I feel. As long as you're both understanding, it's not hard to come to a conclusion and a common ground and see from both sides. It doesn't kill you to see things from somebody else's perspective.
And that's the story. That's like the story of the 6 and the 9. Like, that's just real. Just because I see it differently, and I'm passionate about it, but you see it differently and you're passionate about it, and neither one of us are wrong, and neither one of us are actually right either. We're just seeing it differently.
We're just seeing it from different perspectives. But when you take the time to flip, you'd be like, oh, okay, I see what you're seeing, and the other person will be like, oh, okay, I see what you're seeing now, and then it just makes everything go so much better, and everything flows, especially when you can come on to a common ground and be like, okay, well, this is a solution to this, and if you're willing to do this, it's like when you go to court. You don't always agree with what the court says at first, but the court hears you, and then you'll have to come to a common ground. It might not always be, it was a fly, my bad, y'all. It might not always be what you were hoping for, but as long as you talk it out and you can work through something, most of the times you can work it out and you can come to a common ground. Like, I didn't really want this, but this is better than what I had, and this is more attainable, or more, what's the word I'm looking for? Why do I always lose my words?
Attainable sounded right.
Yeah, there's another word I'm looking for. More compromising than what it was at first. Because if you know, like with courts, they'll be like, nope, this is what we're doing. And then you got to have your lawyer talk to them, and then they bring it on down. And it's like, okay, now we've come to a common ground where we can both agree to something, and it's not just, oh, it's my way or the highway. Like, no, let's talk about it. Let's be humans, be adults, understand that she is just as vulnerable as me. Like, everybody is vulnerable, and as long as
even
you
if I come off strong and passionate, I have my weak moments. I really do, like everybody else. I just choose not to share them as much as some people do. Unlike my opinion that I will share with anyone.
It'd be like that. I'm a crybaby. I am.
I can be. When it's a really close relationship,
yeah,
I am a crybaby.
I've gotten a lot better at it.
Which is why I don't cry
over everything anymore. I used to cry. Boy, y'all just don't know. I used to
But
cry
see,
over
I feel
everything.
like if everybody was how we were earlier, when we was get into it, would be different. Because I try to flight. The reason I try to flight and run away is because most people don't want to come to a common ground. You know what I mean? You wanted to come to a common ground, and she reminded you like it's okay to argue. It's okay to get heated with each other. We're not
like,
cussing at each other. We're not saying ugly shit to each other.
I'm still gonna love you in 5 minutes. I am still love you while we're having the argument.
Yeah.
It's okay to argue. It's okay to disagree. It's okay. A lot of people have this misconception with like relationships. That doesn't necessarily mean a relationship like an intimate relationship. It can be a relationship with a cousin, an aunt, a sister, a friend. They think that, oh, if you're arguing, that just bye, it's done. No, if that's a true friendship, if that's a true relationship that you care about and you genuinely want to work out, you're going to sit down, you're going to talk about it. Look, I know we had this issue, but let's talk about it. Let's work through it. Let's come to a common ground on the situation. Like, you can't just expect people to, that's like me telling her, let me think of an example. That's like me telling you, well, I don't like that, don't do that anymore, or I'm not hanging out with you. Like, you can't do that. Like, that's no.
Well,
yes and no.
Yes.
Like, on certain things, yes.
So many levels to that shit. Because if you
doing
stealing and snorting shit, I'm not hanging out
I'm
with
probably
you.
not gonna hang out with you. I ain't gonna lie. That's just not my speed. But on like stuff that we argue about, or even like simple stuff that
if it doesn't affect me and it's not gonna get me into trouble and it's not
if it doesn't directly affect me, then hey,
you do you, boo.
You do you, boo.
But
I'm gonna let you know how I feel, but I'm still gonna support you no matter what you do, no matter what your decision is. I love you, so therefore I'm always gonna be here for you, whether it's good, bad, ugly, cute. It doesn't matter. Like, I love you, and that's why I don't tell everybody I love them, because people take that too lightly.
They do. They really do. I don't.
And if I tell you I love you, it don't matter. It's gonna sound crazy. It's gonna sound crazy, and you're gonna be like, Araya, why do you put up with that? It really don't matter what you do. I'm still gonna love you. Like, I might have to start loving you from a distance, and I might have to just move around from the situation. That doesn't make me love you any less. I still love you. If you ever need me, you can always call me. But
see, I feel like I'm exactly the same way, except for when it comes to men. I'm not that way. When it comes to men,
I feel like that has a lot to do with your past, though.
I am not gonna love your ass forever. You can go play with somebody else. Go play with your mama, not me. But with my family members, there have been plenty of family members where my other family members are like, why the fuck do you still talk to them? Why are you still around them? That's my family. I love them. I grew up around them. We all fuck up. We all make mistakes.
Nobody is
yes,
perfect.
I will love you on a different level. If we live together and some shit went down, baby, we're not living together ever again. You know what I mean? Like, you got to draw different boundaries and learn what is safe. What's the safest way to deal with people? And some people you can let closer than others, and that's just how it is, and that's okay. We all have faults in different ways, and there's some ways you might not want to deal with me on a certain level because I have demons like everybody else does, and those demons only come out when you cross that line. So you just got to figure out that line.
And I feel like if everybody were to be more understanding instead of being so, I don't want to say self-centered, because there is a lot of people that they're not self-centered, but they're self-focused. That makes sense.
It does, but you know what it is? It's a defense mode, and I feel like I'm glad you brought that up. I love talking about that. Like, for instance, you've seen the trend like where they're talking about like everybody being a narcissist and shit, which we live in a
very narcissistic world.
Yes, a narcissistic country. But a lot of it is, it's not. Most people are like you're saying, they're not trying to be self-centered, or it's a defense. Like, they're just trying to protect themselves and keep themselves safe, because it's a fucking eat or get ate world. Yeah, eat or get ate, play or get played mindset in the world that most people follow, and it's so toxic.
Yes, what
do they say? An eye for an eye, it turns the whole world blind, and that's really happening right now.
Instead of being understanding, be like, okay, I see what you're saying. I understand what you're trying to do. I understand where you're coming from. let's work on something that will make both of us happy.
And see, that's what I like.
Instead of, no, it's my way or no way. Like, you can't do that with people. You can, but you can't. Because you have to think about it. You have to put yourself, this is the way I view things. And everybody's different. But this is the way I view things. I view it as, if I was in that situation, how would I want somebody to treat me? Like, if I was in a fucked up situation and it was a lot going on, how would I want someone to treat me? That's why I treat others. My mom's always taught me, treat others, do unto others as you want done unto you. So I try to always treat people how I would want them to treat me. I try my hardest, and I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect. I've never claimed to be perfect. Yes, I am Big Rhea, and I am the biggest, but I'm not perfect. I'm fuck up too.
We all do.
And I will 100%, if I am wrong, hey, I'm wrong. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. But there is certain things that I'm very passionate about that I'm like, no, I'm not wrong. And I'll even, sometimes I second guess myself. My mama can tell you, she is the first person I call. Mom, this is a situation. This is how I feel about it. Am I wrong for feeling like this? And I ain't gonna lie, my mama tell me I'm not wrong. Oh, baby, you can't tell me nothing else. My mama done told me I wasn't wrong. And just know, my mom, she is the most loving, supportive, amazing woman that I am so very blessed to have as my mother. But if I am wrong, and it doesn't matter what situation it is, if I am wrong, you best believe that woman is going to look me dead in my face and say, Araya, you were wrong. And that's why I always go to my mom about it, because she is the one person that, yes, I am her daughter, but she didn't raise me to be certain ways. So I know if I come to my mama, she is going to tell me, no, you're wrong. Yeah, she's not going to come and be like, oh, no, you're right. And I'm dead ass wrong. My mom is going to be the first person, no, you're wrong. So that's why I always go to my mom, because I don't want to say she's very unbiased. It doesn't matter the situation. It doesn't matter if it was a situation between me and a friend. If I'm wrong, she's going to tell me I'm wrong. It doesn't matter. I've come to her about relationship advice. If I'm wrong, she's going to tell me, no, baby girl, you were wrong. And you shouldn't have did that. And I'll be like, ooh, well, it's too late now. But you're right. I shouldn't have did that. But that's, a lot of people don't think like that.
They don't.
And I think that's probably like my biggest flaw, is I'd be expecting me out of people. And I think that's where a lot of people in the world go wrong in relationships, because they get into them instead of being real. A lot of people aren't real when you first get into a relationship. They're gonna go through that cupcake phase, and they're gonna go through that, what's they called? What do they call it? The honeymoon phase. You don't really know nobody in the honeymoon phase. You don't. Let's just be honest. You don't. You don't know nobody until you about 2-3 years in, and sometimes not even then. But it's also, people evolve, people change, things happen in their lives, and we don't know exactly what goes on in everybody's life every second of the day. So you never know what somebody is going through. Something small could have triggered them and changed them. So that's why I try to just be understanding and very receptive, I think is the word that I'm trying to use, of other people's feelings, and aware. And I try to be self-aware of things, and not look at it from, well, I want it done this way, and look at it from like a situation of, okay, well, let me go ahead and take a look at it as how you want it done. And then if I feel like it's something that we could fix and it could do better, then hey, look, you've got this idea. It's not a bad idea. It's a great idea. Your feelings or your ideas are very valid. But why don't we do this, and we can make each other happy? Like, I feel like a lot of people have issues with doing that. Like, they don't want to have those tough conversations. They're stuck in, no, I want it done this way, and this is the way that it needs to be done. And I grew up in a household like that. I love my grandpa to death. Very, very appreciative of everything that he's ever done for me. But he's a retired Navy chief. And if you ever know anybody from the Navy, the Army, military, period, they are especially the older generation, they are a do as I say, not as I do generation.
And that's why we all fucked up, because we was all raised like that. And
Yes.
humans do not learn off being told. We learn off looking and mirroring. It's actually a scientific thing.
Yeah.
Humans are born with, they're called mirror neurons. So when you're around somebody, even if you think you're not easily influenced or you have a strong mindset or whatever, you are wired to, when you're around people, to pick up subconsciously their traits and their habits. And that's why, like we talked about before in our videos, your environment is very important. Yes, you can push through and eventually get to who you want to be, but it's a lot longer of a process if you're not in the right environment. You have to really be aware of the shit that you're soaking up that other people don't even know that they're putting out there.
That's like the you're a product of your environment. You are not a product of your environment. You are not. Because I know people who have grown up in environments that are so bad, you'd be like, bro, how did you make it out? You are a product of your mindset.
Your mindset
and your motivation.
The reaction
yes.
to your. But you. That's why it's so hard when you talk about shit, because, and that's why people think, oh, you're fake or whatever, because you said in the last video that you are a product of your environment, and now you're saying you're not, because there's different angles and there's different ways to look at it. And yes, your environment is very important, but you can overcome your shitty environment with your mindset. But eventually you still have to change your environment. And it's not necessarily like moving to a new place or something, but changing the way you react to people. Like when people give you criticism or whatever, like consider it, analyze it, but don't take it to heart. Don't feel like you're a shitty ass fucking person. Like, we all fuck up, we're all humans. Yeah, sometimes I, am too strong with my shit and I don't have the right delivery, but that's something I can work on. That's something I can fix.
And I think that with me, I used to be like that. I used to take everything to heart, and that's also why I keep my phone on D&D, because it gives me a peace of mind. But like, I used to take criticism to heart. Like, I used to take it all the way to the heart. I mean, home run, you told me something that was bad, and I'm looking down on myself like, fuck, I'm the worst person in the world. Like, damn, you really think I'm like that horrible? Instead of taking it and be like, you know what? I hear you, and I'm sorry that you got that perspective on me, but that's not who I am. I'm sorry that that's how you see it. And if there's anything that I could change and be a better person, I try to take things and analyze it and be like, okay, well, you know what? You're right. There is some things that I can change and to be a better person and to grow. And that's why, like she said on the video, I said you're a product of your environment. Now I'm saying, you know what? Yes and no. Yes and no. Because the more that I sit and think about it, the more that I'm like, you know what? You don't have to be a product of your environment. A lot of people do say you are a product of your environment, but you don't have to be. Because if you want to get down to it, I came from a family who, I think on my mom's side of the family, besides I think my uncle, one of my uncles, I was the first one to graduate in my family.
First one with a college degree over here.
Yeah. Hey. I tried college. Don't worry about all that. I'm gonna go back though, eventually.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's not important.
It's really not. I'm doing a lot of stuff and I don't have no college experience.
Unless you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or somewhere,
or a teacher.
Yeah, or somewhere up there that actually requires a certification. Like, I got a business degree. You don't need a business degree. All the shit that you learn from a business degree, you can find at the library, and you don't.
Or you can buy her course for $500 and make payments on it.
Yes, or you can do that. Look at her. But it's different. But your mindset it's important. And yes, your environment does dictate your mindset though. And that's where it goes back to the yes and no. If you're in a shitty environment and you know the people around you are spreading negativity to you, which a lot of people do that and they don't mean to. They're just so stressed out and overwhelmed. So I'm not talking shit about anybody when I say that. But you have to be the one to get up and watch motivational videos. That's part of your environment. Feed your mind shit that you want to think and you want to believe. Read some new books.
If you just don't want to take those steps to change your life around and to change your mindset and to make yourself happy, then hey, you're just going to be the product of your environment then, and you just do what you do. Me, on the other hand, I'm going to do whatever I can to be happy, truly happy, and do what I have to do to make it to where my life is as easy and as happy as it can possibly be. Nothing in life is easy. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I can go do this and I'm just going to live the most happy, easy, peaceful life ever. No, everything comes with work, but
including being happy.
You have to work at it. It's not going to just come to you one day. You're not going to wake up one day and just be like, oh, I'm the happiest person on earth. No, you have to work for it. You have to retrain your brain to stop thinking so negatively all the time. I have this thing that I say and I tell myself, oh God, that's kind of big. Sorry, it was a bug. It was a little flying bug. At that. Don't do those. Anyways, I tell myself, like, sometimes when I start to get upset about stuff, I'll be like, not my monkey, not my circus, not my monkey, not my circus. It's just temporary. I'm gonna get through this. Don't get upset about it. It's okay. And I really tell myself, like, there's a lot of situations that I just feel like it's okay. Like, I have to just keep telling myself in my head, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Otherwise, I let my emotions take over. And instead of acting rationally and thinking it through before I say what I'm going to say, I act off of emotions. And I have to tell myself, hey, no, it's okay. You're going to be okay. We're going to work through this. It's just a small bump in the road. And that's really helped my mindset with my depression, is like telling myself, like, hey, it's okay. You're okay. You're going to be okay.
Have you read any books lately?
No, not lately.
Okay, well, what you're talking about, if y'all are listening, you have to read The Four Agreements, which I need to read it again. But
you have the book?
Mm-hmm. You want to borrow it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. I love that shit. But anyways, The Four Agreements, it helps with the anxiety and the mindset, and it describes your mindset as, I forget word for word in the book, but how I remember it, which I need to read the book again, but as like an octopus with 1,000 different legs. And so every thought, you're like pulling weeds. Like, you have to pull out all the negative ones so that and then you have to water the positive ones so that they'll grow. And like you were just saying about like not caring what people think and what people say to you in the book, that's like one of the four agreements, is to not take anything personally. And that's why I said a lot of people do put out negativity and they don't mean to. And I understand, like, it's fucking hard out here, like, especially if you have kids or you have goals and you're trying to accomplish them. Like, the devil is always lurking. He's always trying to distract you. He's always trying to throw you off. He's always trying to steal your joy. So again, don't take anything personally. Even if it feels like someone is personally trying to attack you, 9 times out of 10 they're projecting their shit onto you, which I do it too to people. Everyone does it. You project your shit, your whether it's grief or anger or resentment. If you don't find healthy ways, which I feel like this podcast is a healthy outlet for us, but if you don't find healthy ways to release those emotions, whether you like it or not, it's going to seep into other areas of your life. And people are going to be thinking that you're attacking them, and you're not. You're just you're fighting your own battle. Like, spiritual warfare is for real. So again, let me look up and see if I can tell y'all the other 3 right now, because that is really good.
That's why with some things that go on in my life, I just be like, you know what? they're going through something, they're unhappy with something that's going on in their lives, and that's why they're doing the things that they're doing or saying the things that they're doing. It's not a reflection of me. That's what it is. Ooh, I just lost it that quick. It is not a reflection of me, it is a reflection of you. Your feelings are not a reflection of me and what I'm doing. It's a feeling of, it's the reflection of you and what you're going through.
Yes.
You're just taking it out on the wrong person. Instead of taking it out on who it needs to be taken out on, or fixing what is wrong inside of yourself, you're projecting it and reflecting it upon me instead of reflecting it on yourself. Self-reflection is very important. Like, I have to self-reflect every day and be like, you know what, is there anything that I could have changed or I could have done better as a human, a friend, a sister, an aunt, a fucking partner? Is there something that I can do better? I try to make sure every day I sit down and think about everything that has happened in my day and could have changed anything and did better. So that way tomorrow I'm better. I try to grow and be better every day and try to not be so, I don't want to say I'm self involved, because I try not to be, but there is times where I can be very self-involved and I can be very selfish, and I have to stop myself and be like, hey, like, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that, because we wouldn't want anybody else to do us like that. And I know I just spoke about myself like a plural person, but I promise it's just one of me.
But like how you were just saying, you take time to self-reflect, and you just touching on all my good topics. You just branching them off. But if you are constantly on your phone, or you're constant, like people that sleep with the TV on, y'all probably like, what the fuck is she talking about? Where's she going with this? But if you're always on your phone and you're always watching TV or always doing something, when the fuck are you self-analyzing? When are you praying to God? When are you analyzing your life? When are you self-reflecting? When are you figuring out your game plan?
Like, every night, I literally will sit there and I'll put my phone down and I'll just sit there and I'll think about everything that's been going on, about everything that's happening. And I'll be like, is there anything that I could change to make whatever is going on better? Is there anything?
Back to what we were talking about, which we're going to cut all of that shit out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do that too. Like every night, I can't go to sleep without analyzing. Like, what did I do wrong? How can I be a better mom tomorrow? How can I
try to talk to God every day.
I do talk to God every day. I'll talk to God all day. I'll be like, God, please help me.
I'm not perfect.
Please.
I'll be the first to admit I'm not perfect, but I try to make sure at least once a day I pray and I just ask him to guide me, and to really, my biggest prayer lately has been to guide me to where I'm supposed to be, and to reveal who is supposed to be going with me, and reveal people's true intentions with me, and reveal their true feelings about me. And when I tell you, be careful what you pray for,
be fucking
careful, because you best believe you need to be fully 100% ready when you start praying to that man above. Because when I tell you God works, that man works. And when I tell you, I have been seeing, I want to say for the last year, that's been my prayer every day. God, please just show me who is for me. Please show me the path that I need to go on. Please guide me to the correct people to get to where I'm going to be happy and successful in life, and to grow and flourish and be just genuinely happy. And when I tell you, people have been dropping like flies.
They drop, baby. They drop.
Baby, they drop. They will. It might not be instant. I will tell you that, but it will be. He'll put you in a situation, and it'll just show you everything you need to know. Like, okay, yeah, you. I hear you. I understand what you were saying. I completely hear you, and I see that you were showing me this person is not for me. I see.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
But I feel like too, it doesn't always necessarily mean that the person is not for you, or you need to cut them off completely.
Yeah,
It's just a point of right now our paths don't align. Right now, you know, like picture of it like a mix master or whatever. Like right now I need to be on this road and you need to be over here. We're not on the same road going to the same place. Like right now,
like we haven't always been on the same path.
We haven't. We've separated.
We've separated for a while.
And it will probably happen again in our lifetime. Right now we're on the same road, we driving on the same road, we're trying to go to the same place.
Yeah.
But as time goes on, we might separate. I might want to go over here for a little bit. She might want to go over there for a little bit. And that's okay. It's okay. If you don't.
But one thing about us, we always gonna find our way back to each other.
Yes. It's always love, no matter what.
Yes.
No matter where she is or how far she goes, it's always love. Even if we get mad at each other, even if we done each other wrong or whatever, it is what it is. We grow. I've known this bitch since diapers.
Literally.
Since diapers. We used to get whoopings together.
Used to have to hold the back of that couch together.
Like
we used to throw fits about the food we ate together.
that's just what it is. But and another thing that you was talking about, I wanted to branch off of, because you were talking about being a better which I focused on this really good, and I feel like I was really good at it until I had a daughter, was being a good cousin and being a good granddaughter and being a good daughter and being a good sister and, you know, all those different roles. And now that I'm a mom, that shit is fucking hard, like, because my daughter is my number one priority. Like, besides God, she's number one. And so learning how to navigate that, and like, I can barely keep up with fucking housework. So
that's
right
what
now,
the man said, that goes with what the man said. He said, God first, family second, work third.
Yes. And that's
literally.
And that's exactly how I am. That's exactly how I am. But again, being a mom and learning how to navigate that, which I know it will get a little bit easier once she's not so dependent on me and I'm able to just direct her and guide her, like, hey, go work on this. But right now she needs me like 24/7. So I feel like a bad cousin. I feel like a bad granddaughter, a bad daughter, a bad sister.
Not. You just, people aren't understanding of, okay, well, she has things going on. It's not that she doesn't want to talk. It's not that she doesn't want to be there. She just has things that need her attention and her focus right now. And when she can get to me, I try not to take it too personally, because I understand, like, you have a life. Everybody has their own lives.
Right.
Nobody's life is just, even then this comes into relationships with like a partner. They have a life as well. Their life is not your life. Like, yeah, we've come together and we've made a life together, but they still have their own life. So it's like, you have to be understanding of people. You have to be understanding of people's situations. You have to be able to, I've always said, take yourself out of your shoes and put yourself in somebody else's shoes. And how would you feel? How would you react to the same things that are being said? Like the same things I'm telling you, how would I react if I was you? How would I feel if you were coming at me every day talking about some, let me think of something, like just something random, but you're saying it every single day? How would you feel, or how would I feel if somebody was doing that to me?
Right.
Like if I was in your situation and I was having to go through the things that you're going through, how would I feel? So I try to always take myself out of my shoes and put myself into somebody else's shoes and be a little bit more understanding. I think that's what makes me different from everybody, because I try to see things from both sides as much as I humanly possibly can without compromising my boundaries and my feelings on things. Like, I understand, like, sometimes I'll set boundaries that are just like, bro, what? And I have to stop and I have to remind myself, like, hey, other people are human too. Like, it's not just about me. They have feelings as well. And that's where that coming onto a common ground comes in. Like, sit down and talk with someone and actually have a conversation. If you're sitting down with someone and trying to talk to somebody and they're just dead set on, no, you're not going to come to a common ground, and it's just pointless, and that's where the flight comes in, because it's like, okay, well, it's pointless trying to talk to you because you're not being receptive of anything that I'm saying. So at this point, I'm just going to say okay and walk away.
Right. Like, because you don't want me to leave, but you don't want to talk. Like,
yeah.
How can I compromise with you when all you're doing is disagreeing with me? You're not telling me why you're disagreeing. You're not telling me how we
or
could
even if you
how
do,
we could get to the common ground.
even if you do disagree, and I'll be like, okay, well, this, and this, we'll fix that. And it's like, no, you don't want to be compromising at all. Like,
Right.
no, it's no. And like on certain things, I get it, but on other things, it's like, come on now, like there can be a common ground on this. There can be a compromise made on certain things.
See, and I feel like that with almost everything. Unless I'm on my period, don't just don't even talk to me if I'm on my period, because I don't see shit. I'm hormonal as fuck. Everything irritates me or whatever.
That's not true. That's not true. You're in your period right now, and we talked through a whole conflict.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. We would have been talking like this from the beginning, though. I wouldn't have even got emotional if I wasn't on my period. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it happens. You're human.
It does.
You're not perfect. You're human,
and I'm not.
And it's like that's where I feel like a lot of people don't be understanding, because I'm very understanding. Like, you're human. You have feelings too. Like,
Yeah.
you have emotions just as I have emotions. I can feel strongly about something and you can feel strongly the opposite of me, but that's okay. That's what makes us different. That's what makes us human.
And see, that's what I try to get across to my co-parent, because he just won't. Like I get heated and I get loud when I'm passionate, and it's not that I'm trying to put somebody down or shame them. I'm just passionate, and I was told to shut up so much growing up. You know, I wasn't allowed to speak. I wasn't allowed to use my voice.
Yeah.
That shit didn't fucking matter. So now that I am,
you're being very rude. Okay.
Anyways, now that I am confident to speak my mind and speak up, it comes off aggressive sometimes, and I get that, and I'm working on that.
Or like you're being disrespectful.
Yes, but
it's not.
But I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to make sure that I get it out, and that's just how like a lot of shit hurts my feelings to see, and that comes off as angry and aggressive, or like I'm being disrespectful, and I'm not trying to disrespect nobody. It's just when it comes to like
certain things,
when it comes to shit causing harm to the people that I love, I'm gonna get loud about it. I'm gonna be passionate about it, but that doesn't mean that I want you to shut up and cower down and just go with whatever I'm saying. I just don't have, which I'm working on it, but I don't have the capacity to always stay calm and talk, at a level head. That's something I'm working on. But you're allowed, like I said, my co-parent, like, just because I'm loud doesn't mean you can't share your opinion just because it's different. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. You still shared your opinion, even though I was being loud and maybe disrespectful or whatever. Again, that's not my intention. I don't try to disrespect anyone. Mm-hmm. If you know me, then you know I genuinely want the best for people. Like, I want people to succeed. I want people to do what they're happy doing. I want them
to be genuinely happy.
I want them to stop fucking stressing over leaving a fucking light switch on in the house. Like, y'all be complaining and bitching about dumb little shit that doesn't fucking matter, and that shit breaks my heart and it angers me. And those are just examples.
Because there's just so many different things to worry about in life than stressing over the little things.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that big. You have to, like, there's certain situations where I have to sit back and I have to look at it and be like, you know what? This isn't that big. And that goes back to the fight or flight. I have to look at it and be like, you know what? Is this worth fighting over? Is this worth getting so heated that it might ruin that relationship? It might ruin that connection because they don't feel the same way and they're not being receptive and they're not being compromising and wanting to come to that common ground on the situation. And I'm very quick to be like, you know what? I'm just going to move around. That's my fight or flight. When I feel like a situation is not going to go good, or I don't want to say not my way, because I don't want everything to go my way. I just want everything to be fair. I want it to be a fair situation. If you allow somebody else to do it, why is it okay for this person but it's not okay for me. That's like saying, oh, someone giving you a plate full of food and then being like, oh, but you can't have none. What did I do? Why I can't have some food? Like, why? That's not fair. Right. That's not okay. Why would you just being rude for no reason? Like, it's okay for them to do it, but it's not okay for me to do it. It's like, how is that right? Right. Because if I allow somebody else to do it, depending on the situation, most situations this is how I am. If I allow this person to do it, why would I not allow you to do it? Like, that's contradicting. Like, that's being starts with H. Yeah, it's hypocritical. Like, why would I not allow somebody else to?
I feel like I feel like there's a lot of different angles and perspectives to what you're talking about. So I would really have to have a situation to really say, because I really feel like shit is situational. But I do feel like we're all hypocrites sometimes, and we all disagree with shit that we do ourselves, and it's something that we all have to work on. I've never met anyone who just
nobody's perfect
to not do that, but there are some people who are worse at it than some people. I don't want to talk. I'm not trying to talk down on nobody, but there are some people who don't even like. They complain about shit all day long, but it's the same shit that they're doing themselves, and it's like, how do you see them doing it, but you don't realize that you're doing it too?
Like when people will talk about like certain situations, but they're going through something similar, if not worse. Yeah. And it's like, how are you going to talk about me? Yeah. Yours is way worse than mine. But instead of self-reflecting about your own issues, yeah, you're projecting them onto me. Instead of being like, well, that's a reflection of me, not a reflection of you. Like, people don't know how to self-reflect and be like, you know what? I'm taking my anger out on you and you don't deserve that. Or I'm taking my frustrations out on you and you don't deserve that and I'm sorry. But, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you earlier. Like, all my emotions wasn't just towards what we was talking about.
Right.
Shit been building up. I didn't have the craziest week last week. Shit just been building up. I'm trying to be fucking great in every single way and I'm impatient. And that's one of my biggest downfalls is I'm ready to just be who I want to be, and that's not how it works. You can't just wake up. You gotta
put the work in.
Yeah, you can't just wake up tomorrow and be who you want to be, and it's hard when you're like, I want to be calm and I want to be patient and constantly attentive, and then you catch yourself being the opposite of what you say you want to be, and that's not being fake. Like, it's just growth. We're habitual creatures, and it takes a while when you're stuck in a habit of being a certain way, and then you want to be totally different.
Who's up?
Sweet Peppy. So it's just a process. We're all growing, we're all learning, and if I'm in a heightened emotion, I don't have the logic that I have. But if you can calm me down like she did earlier, I see it, and I can very easily compromise because I'm not one of them people. Even if people think I think I'm always right. That's not me. Like, yeah, I'm strongly passionate about it, but if you sit down and talk to me, I don't just if what I want is gonna hurt you, I don't want it. I have never been that type of person. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I have never. If I want to see everybody win, if it's not a win-win situation, which I used to be with people pleasing, recovering. I used to be, as long as you winning and I'm losing, that's fine. I'm not like that anymore. We both gotta win. If we both not winning, I don't want nothing to fucking do with it.
Like I want you to win just as I want myself to win. And as long as we can come to a compromise where we're both winning and we're both happy and we're both getting what we need, then why not do that? Like, that's really a question that I really want people to ask themselves. Like, what is the issue with talking things out and communicating and properly voicing your opinions and coming to
don't be scared to speak. Don't be scared to speak up. Don't be scared. Even to
you don't
a
have to
passionate
be
person.
you don't have to be defensive about it. You can come to me. I'm a very understanding person, so like when you bring things to me, I can pretty much tell like if you're going to be open about the situation. But if you're just going to be so close about the situation, then that's where my flight comes in. I'm just like, all right, deuces, because there's no point. Yeah. You're not going to be open. You're not going to be receptive. You're just closed in how you feel. And not gonna lie, it's a lot of people in my family that are like that. That's why, yeah. But that's why I love my mom, because that woman is so understanding on a lot. And she's quick to, hey, no, yes, you're right, no, you're wrong. And I feel like she's a very compromising person. Like, if she feels like something is outrageous, she'll be like, okay, you know what, you're right. Why not try doing this instead? And making the situation better. But we do have some people that are like, no, I don't want to do that. And it's like, bro, well, I don't know what to tell you then. Sorry about it, bud. But
well, thanks for joining your favorite cousins.
Bye, y'all.
See you next time.